everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Julia and this is a library card education. This is a viewer request video. I've had a few people ask for not only flip throughs of Apologia Level 1, but ask questions about Math for a Living Education Level 1 and how the two compare. So today I'm going to give you the flip through of this, and then I'm going to go through and do a quick semi-detailed comparison of the two books side by side and what you get with one and what you don't get with the other. This book assumes that your child has not had any formal work with numbers in kindergarten, so this would function for your child that has had no formal experience with math, or as a quick review for the child that has done a kindergarten level. Never mind my stickies, I'll come back to those. And this is always with Apologia. They are a Bible-focused curriculum, but it's only on the introduction for each unit that you're going to get references to God. I have not seen that in any of the other levels that we've used where it's been interdispersed. It's just this introduction. This is an example of your projects. And I think for something like this, we have found that erasable Crayola pencils works great. You can get them in 12 colors, 24 colors, 36, or a pack of 50. And then if your child wants to do math in colored pencil for the rest of their work, it is erasable, but colorful and fun. Another introduction, more mentioning of our creator. Bible verses. And then we are past the biblical speak. Each Apologia book, math book, is themed to go along with one of their science units. I don't know if that matches up. So if their level 1 math would match up with the themes for one of the younger grades. I don't use Apologia Science. And these sheets are available in the teacher guide, but if you get the teacher guide, they also come with a code that's on the front cover or in the front first few pages. And then you can take that code to Apologia's website and you can actually just print all of these pages off directly with your printer if you don't want to rip anything out of the book, so you can use the book over and over again. An example of the card games, which you will do throughout most of the levels, but not nearly to the extent as something like Math with Confidence. There is a little bit of crossover here with, say, Singapore, where you have your concrete, abstract, pictorial, not in that order, but she likes to do all three of those. And then one of the units, or not units, one of the levels, I think it's 2, maybe 3, where you start the box plots. Fun M&M math. Project. That is the flip through for level 1. Now for our side-by-side comparison of the two. Masterbooks level 1, Apologia level 1. So this whole section, once we get past our lesson plan breakdown, so starting page 14 to 90, well, let's see here, let's be more honest. Let's be a little bit more accurate. 14 to 84, this whole section of pages, all you are doing is just working with writing your numbers, learning 0 through 9, writing them over and over again, counting them out. You're not doing addition. You're just learning your shapes, practicing your handwriting, and becoming familiar with numbers 1 through 9. This would be the most counting you would do, is counting each individual ant and then writing the number. That's as far as counting in addition goes to this point. Once we get here to lesson 7, which would be technically week 7 if you do it 5 days a week, you're getting into place value. So before you get into addition, subtraction, counting by 2s, 5s, 10s, anything like that, you're doing number recognition and then immediately into place value. The place value village is in your appendix back here. I'll show you real quick. You can rip these out, make copies of them, laminate them, however you wish. Back when I was using this with my oldest, which was about 8 years ago, they had manipulative pages back here for ovals to represent pictures of beans. They don't have that anymore. I think you have to go on the website somewhere and download that separately now. So, talking about place value, Apologia does not get into place value until chapter 9. This is week 7. Chapter 9 is about halfway through, just over halfway through the book. And they make sure that they have a solid foundation in counting and your basic addition, 2 plus 5, 6 plus 7, whatever it is, your basic addition. So I wanted to point that out. This, what comes after, what comes before, is essentially going to function as your addition until we get later in the book. You will be counting groups of 10, but you're not actually doing the addition. So you're not doing 10, 20, 30. You're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Until, let's see, until week 13 is when you will actually start putting 1 plus 1 together. And this is your first activity. 1, 2, 3, all the way down. Whereas with Apologia, you're getting that in chapter 3. So page 25, a few weeks into your lessons. So this is where you start getting your addition. And then you're drawing it pictorially. Counting pictorial representations, and then more copywork. So basic, very basic addition. Apologia did that many, many, many weeks ago. This is a note for this activity will have you make more flashcards. It asked for you to do that with your child many lessons ago, but you'll continue that process. Apologia does not ask you to make flashcards. So whether that's a pro or a con for you. More place value practice next to your basic addition. As you can see, they're teaching a concept. I never found the stories to adequately teach a concept. In fact, I found many of the stories to not really relate to the concept. I don't know how they make that square peg fit into a round hole sort of thing, but some people understand it. I never did. So I always skip that, and then I teach the concept myself. I'll show you a full week. So this would be your lesson. And this would be day 5 at the end of your week of what you would be doing your last day. And then you would go into the following week with another section of the story. It continues, and the whole story follows through books at least 1 through 6. I don't remember if it's in level K. Level K was written after level 6. Now you're counting groups, or you're going to practice that. So, tally marks, that is also an Apologia. And this right here, this would be your introduction to counting by tens, 10, 20, 30, but you're not actually learning that skill in this book. In Apologia, to learn your counting by tens, you're going to use base 10 blocks, other blocks, cards, and you'll have, of course, your pictorial or picture representations. This is another way that they would practice your skip counting. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. But it's all a very basic. You're not doing a lot of hands-on taking, putting away, putting back, giving, building cubes. None of that. If you have the linking cubes, you're not doing any of those things. Telling time towards the end of the book. One thing Masterbooks does do well is the amount of review and repetition that you have. And then all of these skills from the very beginning, you will find again for review in level 2. And even to some degree in level 3, they constantly keep everything reviewing. So if you have a child that really, really struggles and needs to see skills over and over and over again, that's something to keep in mind that might benefit you. So very basic fractions, which we had in Apologia as well. Still going over how to draw triangles towards the end of level 1. Many people use level 1 as a kindergarten level. You can kind of see why. But you can also see why with this book, why many people assume this is a very regressed math. They don't understand that books K1 and 2 are very slow, very gentle. The purpose is to avoid all math anxiety if possible. And then once you get into level 3, it starts to ramp up. And by the time you get into level 5 and 6, you're about on par with this. Not quite, but almost there. So let's see. Let's go back to these stickies for these notes. So chapter 11, you're adding 2-digit numbers. That is not found in Masterbooks Level 1. Chapter 12 is not found in Masterbooks Level 1, which is your measurement units, except for telling time. You're not doing lengths. You're not doing unit measures, estimating length, ordering capacity, measuring capacity. You're just doing telling time. Chapter 13, you're getting tally marks in Masterbooks, but you're not getting your data collection, your picture graphs, your bar graphs, your M&M experiments. You're not going to get that in Masterbooks, period, but you will get M&M work throughout the series. That's something my daughter likes. Chapter 14. Chapter 14 is geometry. So other than seeing triangles and squares, that's it in here. You're working with 3D shapes, building them, drawing them, making little projects with them. That is not in this book. Chapter 14, oh, I just went over that. Chapter 15, most of it is in Math Lessons for Living Education 1. Not all, but most. And this essentially functions as your review. The end of this book, the last, is it 3 weeks, is all review. Let's see here. Let's be factual. Well, the last 6, so lessons 31 through 36 are all review, whereas your review is left for chapter 13. And like I said, this is not in Masterbooks Level 1. If this is important to you that your child has this for state testing, your personal values, whatever it is, know that that is a big difference between Apologia and Masterbooks. They start concepts sooner than Masterbooks does. They also have far more hands-on practical application. I have a cat stuck somewhere. Dice games, you name it. This tends to stick with stick figures, pictorial representation, and then those little discs, those little, what are they? The 100s beans discs that they give you somewhere on a print off. And then your place value village, which you will have to put little baggies of beans together. You'll have baggies of 10 beans and it's like you have like 10 bags of 10 beans or 20 bags of 10 beans. It can get overwhelming. They ask you to keep a crate of Ziploc bags of beans. So if that's what you want to do versus base 10, that's your shtick. That's up to you. So none of this in the regrouping. It's not really regrouping, it's breaking it down. So you're not getting any of that in Masterbooks. You're definitely not getting these. This does appear, it's either, I think it's level 3. It could be level 2, but I thought it was level 3 because my daughter did that at some point, but she used the end of level 2 and level 3 when she was catching up. So it's somewhere at that time frame. Tally charts, data collection, bar graphs. Again, you've seen this with the Flip Thru, but this is all stuff that you're not getting here. If you want to take it slow and gentle and then ramp up as your child gets older, that's up to you, your choice. If you want to have a steady stream of progression, this is probably for you. If you want more color, you want more hands-on, this is for you. If you are overwhelmed and overstimulated by color, if you want to keep things very basic with just your baggies of beans and whatever printables that you need from the back of this book, this one is for you. This will require Uno cards, M&Ms, base 10 blocks, linking cubes, and several other things to use, and those lists do change as you go along in the series. If you have any questions, you have any concerns, you have any comments, let me know, and I will see you in the next video.